Good afternoon, everyone. Silver Dragon here, going to be doing a little, I guess you could say a preview look at the Masterwork Kobold Fortress. Another even more crazy version that they've added into Masterwork Dwarf Fortress. Now, this, along with Orc Fortress, seem to keep getting absolute, just constant, even our normal Dwarf Fortress for now. For Masterwork, it gets constant updates at this point in time. So currently we're on version F. I wouldn't be surprised if we got up to, like, I don't even know, version S or something at the rate this thing's going. Like every other day, every other week or something like that, it seems like there's another update for this. So I might have to, I'm not going to do a Let's Play series for Kobold Fortress. I'm just going to kind of show you some of the stuff that's different about it, I guess is what I'm looking for. First, I'm going to go on here quickly and designate my guys here. These lovely. I've already gone through the whole embarking process and selecting my kobolds and all that stuff. Now, the interesting thing about kobolds is they mostly, although we do have now, before we didn't have a lot of the stuff that Masterwork has. Now we do. If I go into workshops, we do have a lot of the workshops that Masterwork does have. Before, all we had was the Kobold camp stuff and a few other random things, just the regulars like Craftsbold workshop and such like that. Now the thing about kobolds is they can't dig through rock, as far as I can see. As far as I've been able to see so far. So you actually have to build above ground. You can dig little cave systems underground, like in the dirt, for your guys to work in, but that's pretty much it. So most of the stuff as a kobold you're going to be doing is above ground. So that's their differentiate, or that's their how they differentiate between the two in this one. So let's go down here. Of course, we have to let them dig out a lot of this stuff first. Let me do that. Let them do that. I'm also going to designate a large area here for housing the animals I brought, even though I'm not going to be really having them for long enough to use them. There we go. So I'll let my guys designate, cut out these trees. Now, if you pick the the pack that they give you right away, or the embark profile they give you right away, it basically gives you one miner, 2 woodcutters, and a bunch of other like crafters and such, which is nice. All right, build workshop, the usual crafts workshops and all that. Wooden logs. Now, it does embark with some granite, so it gives you a little bit of something at least you can use for stone, if you so wish. I'm also going to build all of these kobold camp specific items here, or buildings, if it'll let me. Too many trees in this place. There are just a ton of trees. So Critter's Kitchen. Let's build that over here. We need a trap shop, because kobolds are all about building traps and all this stuff here, so thieving and training grounds, all that kind of stuff. Wood processor. There we go. So that's all the unique stuff that comes with the kobolds. I suppose I should get a kobold workshop going. Alright. Now they also do get they should probably get, because they have trading caravans and come in. I've never actually let it go long enough to actually see one, though, because there's not too much point with this. You build a couple things, then it's done right now. But as I said, they're adding so much stuff each and every week, it seems like, to it. So I would not be surprised if this is completely, or not completely different, but it has like just a crap ton more stuff next week, which is why, as I said, not going to do a Let's Play of it, just for that reason. And of course, we randomly decided to embark directly on top of a river. Who am I to judge? Luckily, it's a brook and not a full-on river. Otherwise, all of our stuff would be down the river right now. Now, with the Critter Kitchen, we can burn remains. We can cook all those critters that our animals usually destroy, such as cockroaches and such. Salvage critter remains, all that kind of stuff. With the Furrier Shop, create leather bedding, tan of fur, create a glove, all that stuff for if we happen to get any hunters. The Scrimshaw Shop, we can craft bone items, bone swords, shell swords, kobold daggers, all that kind of stuff. Moving over to the training grounds, we can actually train our guys to meditate, swim. If we make swords, whatever, they'll train with the sword, the axe, and all that stuff. And it'll just be random. Some random kobold will run up there that's not doing anything right now, and he'll start training that. Craftbold Workshop obviously works as all craft shops usually do. So I'll let that be for now. So yeah, it's all about building wooden walls, building wooden towers, pretty much. It's all up to wood with the kobolds. Wood and dirt, dirt and wood. And of course, let me actually, that's not what I was looking for, build farm plots. They're all about outdoor farming, so of course you would need some mud, generally speaking, no mud soil. So you would actually need to get mud, which is going to be an issue with them, in order to properly plant outside. So what I'm going to do in order to simulate that is go like this, expand that about yay big. We'll give the miner something to do. There we go. Actually, could just do this even, it would work better if I did it this way. No, don't bother digging that out either, my friend, because either way you're going to be digging it out yourself. So just keep designating him to dig out a area like this. Rinse, repeat, next one. And then just have him remove all the up ramps before you flood the place. That way we create an access to the surface, or to the sun, I guess you could say, and then flood it with the pond. And that gives you your initial source of above ground farming. Yeah, so you have to do pit farming, as it were. I guess is a good name for it. Anyway, so they should have built all the other stuff by now, hopefully. No, requires carpentry. Apparently none of my guys, none of my woodcutters that I brought with me have carpentry, which is a little weird. And did I even... Huh, weird. Apparently some reason, I don't know why, I decided not to launch the therapist. That's a bit odd with me. That's a bit odd. Okay, so yeah, surprisingly enough, we have no carpenters. I'll fix that quickly. We'll need them to build stuff anyway. Designate. Keep harvesting that, man. We need a giant hole in the ground here, man. Giant hole in the ground. Keep it digging. Kobolds were unable to complete the wood processor because they decided to cancel it. Because they're being a pain in the butt. Alright, let's remake it then. Probably because they used the wood log for something else, and then they were like, whoops, I'm sorry, I forgot. My bad, and it was too late. Far, far too late. There we go. We almost got this thing designated down. So let me keep this going here. Just because I want to get the basic farms for kobolds set up, so I can show their products for that. One more. Looks like my guy's going down there to have a drink now. Once that's done, I can have him go down there and get rid of all those Z levels. Remove up ramps, please and thank you. Whoops. Kind of pause that work there. Now the wood processor is done. We can process wood into a new material. We got the training grounds. Of course, I can meditate them, make them, let them swim. As if kobolds have much of an issue drowning. But I guess that would help them, I don't know, swim across a river to raid and then swim away or something. Not sure what the point of that was, to be honest. So you really just want to get them training up on their weapons as soon as you can and learning various things. Let's go blocking bracer, training dagger, training spear, training machete. I'll probably go training machete, just because you gotta have the machetes. All the normal stuff is constructed here. Some of the more interesting things is make wooden wagon track. And wooden handicart. All that stuff. Huge wooden pillar. So we're going to make this track here. Wooden wagon track. I'll let him get to work building all that stuff. Now that he's done that, I'll have him channel this sucker in right here. And we'll get the flood started. There we go. Now the pond's going to flood into there. It'll drain out, dry up, and then we'll get ourselves some farming going down there. Alright, so generally speaking, everything is pretty much the same as with Dwarf Fortress. Of course, I almost forgot about the trap shop. You can create spike traps, dart traps, huge pillar traps, swinging hammer traps. Gotta love swinging hammer traps. All that good stuff. I'll just create a bunch of spike traps. And of course some wooden mechanisms to go with them. So we'll see how well that turns out. I also need a table and a chair so I can get the record keeper doing his thing. Even though we won't need his services for very long. Still, we do need his services. Now this might actually take a bit longer than I thought to remove it all, due to the fact that there's actually more water than I thought there was. So we're going to take out another layer here. I didn't think the water would be able to fill that much. Probably, you know what, we're going to extend it this way too. Just because I don't want to see solid 2s in there. Let's have him remove all these. Well, I didn't mean remove the upstairs that you used to get the hell out of there, you fool. Oh, well, he'll have to use that up ramp now to get out of here. So will everyone else, because I can't... Well, I could designate another one to be made, I suppose. So inconvenient, though. Jeez. Ah, well. It was my misclick that caused that issue. Critter kitchen. We can salvage critter remains, which will then be turned into food for our guys. So we may disregard roaches and toss them into a pit, but the kobolds, they eat them. Or some cave turtles, rhino lizards, all that stuff. They eats them. Yep. Now, of course, I could continue flooding this place if I opened it up to the other thing, but needs 2 remains in order to salvage it into the critter kitchen. Well, now that we got that, well, we can't cook a critter. We need a small live animal in order to cook a critter. But I wants to cook them. Oh, well. Did you already build all that? Build trap. Let's see here. Oh, yeah. Guess they did. Crude wooden spikes. There we go. So I can actually put those spikes and I can add as many of them as I want into it. Alright. Done selecting that. So now anything that goes through there is going to be getting spiked. Of course, we don't have much else to do for that. Build. Does need some trees to be cut down. So right now there's not too much to do. There's not too much different between this and the other ones. There's actually less to do in this one since we can't really dig down in the stone and collect metals and refine them and such. We'd have to trade it or otherwise acquire it through different means. Building wood crafts, wood walls. But it's an interesting sideline for Dwarf Fortress, I'd have to say. And I'd be interested in seeing how they're going to expand on this later. Alright, because there's still a lot for them to do to this that they have planned on there, I'm pretty sure, from what they've been updating so far. Of course, there's also a lot of plants here I can gather. I'll have somebody do that since there's... let's see, I'll have this guy. He's not doing much right now. We don't have anything to brew. So I'll have you gather up a crap ton of plants to eat. There we go. That'll keep him busy for the next, 2 years. Nah, anyway. So yeah, generally speaking, with the kobolds, you're building outdoor camps, you're hunting maybe, finding, getting some animals, turning their fur into leather cots and such. Using Critter Kitchen to gather critter remains to cook and eat. The Trap Shop for producing basic dart traps, swinging hammer traps, all them traps, and using them in various ways. Of course, the Scrimshaw Shop for turning any bone or shell you happen to get into weapons. The training grounds, which I haven't actually used yet. I could actually show that off a bit here. Train the sword. Now, a glitch that seems to happen with this is you you make a single weapon, and they're able to train in... Like, I made a sword, basically, and they were able to train in sword, hammer, and spear in the training workshop for some reason. So that's something that's probably going to be fixed later on. No one's actually processing wood, so I can turn it into wood stakes. Regents wood stock products, stock wood logs. So basically, kobolds, one of the major things that they have for plants is the wood stock. So yeah, you're basically harvesting so many trees. So kobolds are all about the trees, it looks like. They're the anti-elf. I guess it's kind of funny. But yeah, hopefully later on they'll have, it said part of the thing that they showed for the feature of that, or at least that they suggested for it, was the ability to send, like, to steal to survive, to get your items, to steal from enemies, like in other words, to send your kobolds out to invade other fortresses as, like, kobold thieves, to steal from enemy fortresses and come back successful and so on, become master thieves or something along those lines. That is something I definitely imagine them doing within the next couple releases, maybe, of Kobold Fortress. So this is all just the basics for now. It's all generally the same as you can see here. Let me just get these two farms built here, and I'll show you that. It's all generally the same. They have their wood stock bulbs, which then eventually turn into the wood from the what's it called there? Here we go. Yeah, wood stock. It's all wood stock. That's the only seeds we brought with us, really. If you use, must be inside. Yeah, I guess that's the downside of that. In that case, I could just do this. And I'll have that built in 2 seconds. So I can get a table and a chair down here. Because it's technically inside now, has a roof. So that's pretty much the reason why you need a miner. You need a miner to dig into the ground to build your living quarters. You keep your actual production quarters up on the surface, where you will produce everything you need and all that stuff. And you, yeah, just kobold around, I guess. So not too much else to do in that sense. Head kobold. I'm not sure. Let me actually assign this guy. Yeah, head kobold. He's a record keeper, the trader, the witch doctor. Well, I guess the armorer is the witch doctor. Shaman. Why not? I'll make myself the shaman there. Warband marshal is whatever, obviously. So yeah, they don't have too much distinctions between them yet. But just like Orc Fortress has continued to evolve, so will this. I definitely am looking forward to that. It definitely adds a new, what am I looking for? A degree of challenge to the game in a way, having a completely new way to play it. Alright, let me set this up here, assign that to myself, go to the record keeping, and I really do want to see high precision right now. The Horde Counter. I like that name for them, the Horde Counter! We must count the horde our little friends have brought to us. Ha ha. Ho ho. But anyway, yeah, that's pretty much generally it right now. That's all we really have to do for this, as far as I can tell. Let me create a squad here. Leather armor. That's all we'll ever have, really. Let's see. We'll add the witch doctor in as commander here. See what kind of possibilities he has. View schedule. New orders, patrol routes, station, train, defend burrows, all that's the usual stuff. So there's not really too much else you can do with it, it looks like. You can't. Although it does mention you're supposed to, like, steal from people and such. As far as I can tell, you can't actually do so right now. Craft bowl workshop, trap workshop, yeah. I did make those traps. Let's see here. So it doesn't fall under that. It probably falls under a weapon trap. Yeah, wooden mechanisms. And then we have the wooden darts, the giant spiked hammers, or whatever else we happen to put in it. I'll put the darts in here. So we'll set that up as a dart trap. I'm not sure exactly how that would attack enemies, but it'd be interesting to find out. Anyway, mostly I'd have to start channeling enemies into specific little chambers of death, as it were, to have it work properly. Now you can see all the stuff here that they've kind of gathered and just left around. Whip vines and stuff, obviously, because I haven't actually built a place for them to store all that. Now for this, the other thing I brought was strawberries. You could really bring whatever plants you wanted to grow. But yeah, I chose me some strawberries. And then woodstock. There we go. So yeah, that's Kobold Fortress pretty much. There's not too much else to it. It's just building wooden walls really around your encampment and getting everything secured away. There's not too much else to it really at the moment. Eventually I'm sure there'll be far more interesting things to do in Kobold Fortress. Be able to send your kobolds off to raid fortresses and acquire their goods via theft. Who knows, you could acquire a dwarven child eventually and be able to train it to mine for us. I could see that happening, actually. To be able to that could be a lore thing too. The kobolds need to steal dwarven children in order to mine for them or something like that. I could totally see that happening. Alright, I'm not actually gonna keep this going long enough for them to actually build this, but I figured why not. Just get them building something for now. Get a wood wall up there just to make kind of a basic kobold camp for the hell of it. But yeah, as you can see, some random kobold will eventually run up to this and start training the sword when he's available. And we'll slowly get his skills up and go to the actual military screen here and see we have level 5 dodger. The one that's currently working on it is this guy right here. It's like he's related roll 73% hammer dwarf. No, he's not actually getting any skills in it so far as I can tell. 0% experience. Yeah, so he's not actually, even though he is training in there right now, I don't see him actually learning anything from it. And then somebody else now went over there and started training. The miner. So we could build a couple of those, actually, if we wanted to. Sorry about that. Freaking phone's going off now. And they have all the Masterwork stuff got added into it. Talks assist, all that stuff. So let's build a couple more of these training grounds and let them just train their hearts away. That's a wood processor, not a training ground. So we'll build, like, I don't know, 3 of these quickly. I don't want to build out of granite. I need that granite. I have very little granite. So I'll only build the 2 of those because I really don't want them wasting that granite. Of course. Alright. We'll zoom out a bit. If I can actually manage to zoom out somehow. Jeez. Fail! Fail at zoomage. Alright. So they're getting that built. I'll just have them train nothing but swords. Then they also have meditate. Let's have some of them meditate. Or you know what? I'm gonna have one meditate and one train swimming. And of course we have train axe and train dagger. That popped up there. Now he's gone to train sword. Don't know why, but they just carried rocks with them when they were training swimming and meditation. It could be that it consumes granite in order to train swimming and meditation, which is interesting. I definitely want to see how that alters their skills and such. But anyway, what else is there to look at, really? Trap shop. We've already built some interesting little traps there. Nothing has actually triggered yet. Now also, of course, we have the animal traps that'd be important as well, and all the other stuff. There's not really much else that's different at all. We've pretty much covered everything for the moment, at least until they add more. Oh well, we're actually out of logs. Probably because we built all those walls there. It's not even a complete wall. So this is basically how you would set up a fortress with them. Just wall around your camp. Obviously mine has, this isn't a river, it's just a, what the hell? Where was my brain? Creek. So it's so shallow that my guys can easily walk through it, so it doesn't make a good defensive position, unfortunately. Unfortunately. Now, anyway, we do have, yeah, there's processed wood. We can't actually process any wood, because the only wood he can process is wood stock bulbs, which is currently being farmed. Alright, let's see if that has had any effect whatsoever on their skills. Well, I'll let them zoom around here. I'll give them a good minute to run around before I look at that. And I'll probably end this soon as a short video, as really there's not too much to do right now. Hopefully eventually there'll be far more stuff. At the rate they're going with all these updates, dear God. There's not much point in doing a Let's Play series about this. I should probably even, when my next Orc Fortress dies, I might end up, well, no, I'll probably keep going with that series. It's a popular series. But I will cool it for a bit just so I can get all the new updates going, because I have to update Orc to F version now. I think I'm currently running off like D, or no, is it D, or is it C version? I can't remember at this point. But regardless, it needs updating. It needs lots of updating. Hopefully they managed to fix that lovely Necromancer glitch. Alright, that's about good enough. It's about as much time as I will give them to show any of their skills. So here we go. They have started training their sword skills, you can see here. Now, he does have a negative 25% experience bonus towards Swords Dwarfing. Or Sword, yeah, well, it's kind of funny how it's called Swords Dwarf. Raws 100%. Raws say he is not supposed to be a Spear or a Swords Dwarf. Next guy says about the same thing. So he's about 70, what is it? 74% way through that. Yeah, that guy. They're working on their swimming. Don't know why I really want them to have adequate swimming, but apparently I do. Now, meditation, let's see. Not sure what meditation would really affect, to be honest. Negotiator and all that are at 1, so I'm not sure if it would affect any of that. But that should be good enough for now, so hopefully you guys have enjoyed this little gameplay preview for Kobold Fortress. There's not too much to show, to be honest, right now. It's just some pretty basic stuff, new things have been tossed in. And the mechanic of basically, you need to build your fort outside, almost purely, with the exception of digging underground a bit into the dirt, as that's all you can dig into. If I can even show you down here, I dug a practice hole to see if that changed. Right here, once you hit the stone layer, they can no longer dig through. They just can't dig through that. Try having them channel it. Channel this side even. See if that would cheat it. Might work, but probably wouldn't. Just because, hey, how's he supposed to know what's down there? He's just channeling. He's not even going towards it. Where is that miner anyway? Oh, because he's currently meditating. Alright, so let's see if he'll actually go down there and dig through that. It's highly doubtful he'll be able to do it successfully. But who knows? That might be the way to currently cheat it to get actual ores and such right now. Well, he is going down there. So we'll see if he manages to do it. Nope. Even channeling basically says, no, you cannot dig through stone. So there's pretty much no way you're going to dig through that. Alright, so yeah, that's Kobold Fortress, guys. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, definitely check out my other series. I will be moving my Masterwork Dwarf Fortress series to the new version here soon, which has far more difficulties added into it now with the digging, much harder digging with elementals spawning all over the place, and farming and everything. It's gonna be interesting, as well as an updated Orc Fortress Let's Play eventually too. Once my current one falls, which will probably be next week, I'm guessing. I don't see that surviving another episode. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching again. Have yourselves a good one, and see you all next week. Well, this won't be a weekly thing, but still. Hopefully you enjoyed. Peace out.